Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? All right. Okay. So I'm an engineer. I work at Broadcom. I work in an area of digital video. I've been doing this for about 20 years or so. How many people watch TV? How many people think of a TV? Is it a computer? Is a TV a computer? Any think yes? Any think no? Not sure. A bunch of people not sure. Okay. It turns out that inside a computer, have any of you heard of pixels? You know what a pixel is? Yeah? Do you know what an MPEG file is? Have you watched a video online like an MPEG file? So it turns out about 20 years ago, a bunch of people, engineers, got together and decided they were going to digitize all movies and all video, and it was called a motion picture experts group, and it was a bunch of smart guys, and they got together and they figured out how to digitize video and process it on a computer. So if you're watching TV today or a Blu-ray or you got cable or satellite, all of that video is processed on a computer, and a lot of it is processed through chips that I built. In fact, if you watch TV, there's like a 90% chance that you're using one of my chips. And I think that's a really cool idea, that you can take a computer and process video with it, right? So then there's I wonder if did they have a picture of of our lab? No? All right, so that's what I do. The question is, how did I get started? So like 20 years ago, I still got it. Like 20 years ago, one of my neighbors gave me this computer board, right? And this thing's like ancient. I don't even know if it still works, but it's got like switches and at the core of it, it's got a processor and it can add and subtract. And you're going to be doing stuff like that today, although you're going to be doing it on a Raspberry Pi, which is about 100 times easier to program, and it's a lot more fun, right? And one of the amazing things that's happened with computing is that when you get a Raspberry Pi, it's easier to program than that thing. And so it opens up the field of computing to people who do art, people who do fashion design, people who do, I think Kobe Bryant codes, right? Basketball players code. So the field of computing isn't just limited to engineers anymore. It's something that everyone can do, right? And that's I think, a pretty exciting idea. And it's way, way better than that. They ask me, so I've been building stuff since I was little, taking it apart. I always started by taking things apart. We never had a working flashlight in my house, ever, when I was a kid, and putting it back together. So when you're playing with the Raspberry Pi today, try to experiment with things. If something's not working well, take it apart, put it back together. Think about how to experiment with things and try to learn and understand through the process of doing things. And this is actually something that we follow at work. This is if you ever become a computer architect like me, this is our first principle. If you can understand something, you can design it, you can use it, and you can reuse it. And any system you can understand is better than anyone that you cannot, right? So what we're trying to do today with the Raspberry Pi and with the various activities is try to gain some understanding about how computing works and what kinds of problems you can solve. The last thing they asked me to talk about was how I started, Raspberry Pi, what I do. No, I think that's it. Actually, Kate, that's it. Any questions on computer engineering or Raspberry Pi or what we're going to do today? No?
I have a question.
You have a question.
So it sounds like you've been trying to take things apart and put them back together ever since you were little.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing you ever worked on, taking it apart and putting it back together? And what did you learn while you were doing that? What was so cool about it? What was the most exciting thing?
As a kid?
Sure.
Okay, so we had a tape recorder that I took apart as a kid. And if has anyone even seen a tape recorder? Oh, okay, so some of you have. Okay, so here's the fun thing about a tape recorder. There are 17,000 little springs and wires and clips and things inside there. And if you take it apart, it will never, ever go back together, ever. That was a lot of fun.
Great.
I learned from it. I didn't build a tape recorder that worked, though, but I had fun.
Excellent. Thank you so much, and thank you for sharing your passion and stories with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.